Hello everyone, welcome to PhoneUX. Today I'll be covering the Pixel 7 and my initial review of the phone. Alright, so let's get to the outside of the phone. So obviously it's got gloss, very nice look. I love the snow on it. I stayed away from the lemongrass. It did look a little bit weird. I wasn't sure it was gonna look good in person. And so yeah, I just went with the snow. Obsidian obviously is a safe bet. Can't go wrong with black. I love the visor being matte versus glossy or polished. So I know the polish is gonna show more fingerprints and probably more defects, like as you start scratching the phone. And with a metal visor, you are gonna scratch the phone, which is a little bit of a negative. But then if it's glass, you might not get as many scratches, but you have the chance of cracking it. So you give and take. I prefer to have signs of scratches and dents versus a crack. The materials used on the phone are straight up premium, metal frame, and then you got glass on the back and front, and then you got the metal visor. So there's no cheap feel to this phone. This phone feels like a tank. I'm pretty sure I could just throw it against the wall and it's gonna break the wall instead of the phone. It's a solid phone. So I did opt for the Pixel 7 instead of the 7 Pro. Mainly because I don't intend to be using the optical zoom on this phone, so paying the extra price just didn't make sense to me. And at $600, this is a steal. A brand new flagship phone, because this is comparable to any flagship out there. A brand new flagship phone for $600 is just basically unheard of nowadays. So definitely a great buy. So now let's get to some of the perks on the inside. So one is the haptic feedback. So all these little motions bring up the haptic feedback plus typing, and the haptic feedback on this phone is the best one I've felt. Definitely the best feedback I've had on any phone. I usually deal with Samsung, which Samsung has a nice feedback too, but this one just feels a little different. It feels more like if it's a deeper feedback. It was a nice change. So definitely haptic feedback, a plus on this phone. I did set it to the minimum though because I don't like it too strong, but yeah, at the minimum it's good. The other thing I had to change was the scrolling sensitivity. So at first the scrolling sensitivity was just not sensitive enough, so I would have to flick the screen pretty hard to get it to scroll, compared to what I'm used to, at least with Samsung, which is my main phone. And so I raised the sensitivity all the way, and now it works perfectly how I like it. So definitely nice setting to have, but it was a little bit or it was not sensitive enough, at least for me, out of the box. So another thing is when you are scrolling or about to use like the back feature, you do come across the edge of the screen, which is not the smoothest. There is a little bit of a lip there, right around a little bit after the metal ends, or right where the metal ends and the glass meets. There is a bit of a lip, and so you do feel that, but it's not like uncomfortable or anything. So especially once you have a case, the case covers this section, so you'll never feel this if you put a case on this. So next, let's get into the camera. So everyone raves about the Pixel camera. It is always considered, or at least lately has been considered, the best camera. I would say it's definitely challenging Samsung and iPhone for the best camera, at least in pictures. It takes great pictures. It does have, every company's gonna have their own settings for pictures. So I do prefer the Samsung colors a little bit better, but these are outstanding. And then the clarity of the photos is just amazing. The zoom feature works great for up to 2x zoom. Obviously anything 3x, you're gonna run into the same problem, you're just zooming in too much. But 2x zoom comes out really clear on this. The camera app has some really cool features. One is the motion feature, which has the long exposure, which if you put it at night, let's say in the street, you'll be able to capture some of the lights. So I actually used it on a fountain, and it was able to, instead of having the water just looked like it was floating in the air, it looked like the water was flowing. It had that motion effect on the water, and it came out great. You do have cinematic mode, which does look like it works pretty well. Very cool feature, and something that a lot of phones do not have. And again, this is $600 and it has those cool features. So next, let's go to the UI, and it's just a super smooth and clean UI. It's basic, but it works. It's great. It's easy to use and it's responsive. So the performance of this phone is up there with the best of them. So I played Injustice 2 on this phone, and I would say this phone actually ran Injustice 2 smoother than my Z Flip 4. Maybe it'll fall behind with some of the games, newer games or something, but when it comes to the ordinary apps or any camera functionality or browsing, watching videos, anything else besides maybe playing the toughest games, this chip just knocks it out of the park. So along the same lines of being quick and responsive, the fingerprint sensor definitely is responsive. It doesn't lag. It doesn't take long. And just to use that as an example, I'll just let me try that. I already found my face, so let's try it again. So I put my fingerprint there, opened it, accurate, first try. It's just a great one. And then to add to the sensor, the haptic feedback on the sensor is great. It does let you know that it worked, you're in there already. And it just adds to the great experience with the phone. So the other part of the security is the facial recognition. And that part, I would say, is up to par when it comes to, I guess, the accuracy and the speed. But the fact that you can't use it for, let's say, Google Pay is kind of a downer. Or like, why wouldn't they make it good enough to use for that? But in terms of being convenient to unlock the phone and get into the phone, it definitely works. Obviously, the better the lighting, the better it's gonna work, but it does work. So this is my first Pixel phone, so maybe some of these features aren't new, but for me, they're new. One of the coolest features that I've come across so far, because I did read a lot of the tips. I guess I'm a tips reader lately. So one of the cool features, or the coolest feature, is the double tap on the back for an action. So you can actually have it to open an app or to do quite a few different things. So I actually have it to take a screenshot because it's convenient compared to having to bring up your apps and then pressing the screenshot button there. Or like other phones like the Samsung, pressing the power and volume down button. That doesn't always work if you're holding it with your right hand. It's kind of hard to do that with one finger. I'm sure some people might be able to do it, but I can't. If you're holding it with your left, could be because the buttons will line up, but I'm a righty, so definitely a cool feature. Just double tap, and you take a screenshot. You could put it as a flashlight, which I thought was pretty cool. The only thing is that in order for the double tap to work, the phone has to be unlocked. So at that point, if you need a flashlight, you just scroll down and press the flashlight. Yeah, and the fact that it works with the case is definitely a plus. And then lastly, let me just say that the price is just unbeatable. So this phone for $600 is a great deal. Really, the only thing that's missing from an even higher end flagship phone is the optical zoom. But for $600, I would give up the optical zoom all day. So this is a great buy if you're gonna get a brand new phone, and you're not missing out on anything that any of the more expensive phones have, except for the optical zoom. But there are plenty of flagships that don't have an optical zoom. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did find it useful, please hit the like and subscribe button. And as always, see you next time.